Alligator Johnson was born on a farm near the little town of Orlando. Orlando was a village in the piney woods where the railroad had yet to go. Johnson learned to farm. Johnson learned to fish. He learned alligators made a mighty tasty dish, and he learned that developers were on their way. Up and down the coast, Fernandina to Palm Beach, the developers began to build. Everywhere they cleared the land and filled the swamps, the alligators and the bears were killed. First they built a railroad, then they built a town, then they built a giant hotel to lure the tourists down, and then they'd move south and build again. Alligator Johnson started clearing a farm where he planned to raise corn and beans. He had some scrub cattle and some razorback hogs that were always hardy and lean. He always had tobacco and molasses too. A horse and big log cabin were all he aspired to, and he would be satisfied with life. Then news got around that a railroad would be built, right through Johnson's land. Florida had drawn a route upon a map and given Henry Flagler a free hand. The sheriff came with papers and a shotgun filled with buck, apologizing with a smile about Johnson's bad luck and warning him not to cross the man. Alligator Johnson took to the swamps, determined not to slink away. He pondered possibilities for sweet revenge while he sat there fishing every day. He watched alligators, armed with tail and claws, catching fish and turtles in their fearsome toothy jaws, and he had an interesting idea. Alligator Johnson picked gators small enough to fit in pockets or a canvas sack. He found the sheriff relaxing in a bawdy house and launched a flying alligator attack. The sheriff grabbed his Union suit and covered up his bites before fleeing in a terror out into the misty night and resigning as he ran down the street. Henry Flagler had a railroad car made of mahogany and gold. He rode it all around the state, always restless as he grew old. One day he'd be in Tampa, next on the East Coast, always building something new about which he could boast and grow ever richer day by day. Alligator Johnson crept atop Flagler's car with a heavy wooden box. It was hot that night, and through the open vent he could hear Flagler and his friends talk stocks. Once the train was rolling fast, Johnson met his goal as 50 baby alligators tumbled through the hole and onto the white-tide men below. Henry Flagler could buy land or man, but that didn't shield him from this new fear. An alligator dangled from his craggy nose and another from a wrinkled ear. Flagler started bellowing. He began to shout, telling all his little men to throw the gators out and to turn the train back toward New York. Alligator Johnson was never caught, but to escape he had to hide away. And some say that he's living in the woods and swamps and still fighting for our state today. Every time a gator's loose on a big golf course, every time a bear makes trash its favorite food resource, folks claim Johnson's at his tricks again.